All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome back. Happy Monday. Hi, Jennifer.
Hello. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. You've been on a tear. You've been going for a bit. You had yesterday off, but you were busy for a chunk there.
Yeah, it's been a like a 12-day streak, I think it was.
Cool.
Lots
Busy
of work.
stuff.
Yeah, lots.
So
Go,
today,
go, go.
today we're going to talk about how, because we keep seeing the same questions pop up over and over and over, which is how do I get people? How do I get renters? How do I get people to fill my suites? How do I get stylists? And I think people are just solving the wrong problems.
I would agree.
So I'm going to
I
talk.
used to be one of them.
Yeah, keep that thought
Okay.
because I want to know how, or people probably want to know how. Anyways, first we always start with our
Opening takes.
opening takes. What do you got? Do you want me to go first or you to go?
No, I can go first. So last week we donated our time for the elementary school in our town's Sweetheart Dance, which this is like our third or fourth time doing it. And it's always cool because what we do is we do tinsel in the hair and we do some face painting, and they pay whoever's up front there. I don't even know. And we raise money for the PTO. So it goes to the school, and we still have a kid in the elementary school. So it's fantastic. And generally we bring in over $1,000, which is really helpful for the school. But that part is very amazing. I love that we raise money for the school. But what I love even more and why I do it is it's team building. It's showing our team how to give back to the community. And it also shows the community that we are Hello Hair Co. and that we're in or near the town. And I think that's huge. And you make these little kids' day with this tinsel, because trust me, everybody tells me after when I keep seeing it, like they
I've
are
been there,
obsessed
by
with
the
it.
way, for these, and they're insane.
It's insane. But you're also, you're reaching out, and there's kids that are coming out to us like, I go to Hello Hair Co. and they're telling their friends, like, this is my salon. And these girls are in like second grade. It is so sweet to hear. And then just when you make their day and you put the sparkle in their hair and they just look at you and they're like, thank you so much. But so what I do to give back to my team that wants to donate their time is we have shirts made and we use the theme of the Sweetheart Dance each year. We change them and then our logo goes on the back. So we all look the same. What was super cool was I think there's three women that really help run this event for the school. And they had reached out and asked if they could get shirts too. So it's neat to see the shirt theme even going beyond our team. And then we had two younger kids help us out. My daughter Gwen was super excited to join the team. And then one of the women's daughters asked if she could help do some tinsel. And this event, we need all hands on. I need at least 10 people to make this run smoothly and to get through all these kids in 2 hours. Our first year, we did not have that, and we were tinseling to way after the dance was done. So to see also a fifth and a sixth grader come on and help make these girls so happy and give up their time, and they thought it was so much fun. It was just so cool. And it's neat to see when you have people on your team that will give up a couple hours of their night. They're not getting paid. They're just getting thank yous, and that's enough for them. And they see the opportunity to feel good about giving back to the community. So we rocked it. It was really fun, and we raised a bunch of money and made a lot of little girls very happy.
It's really cool. I remember the first year that we did that, I actually started helping because we got overwhelmed.
Yeah. I
The
kept
line-
looking at Todd and I was like, is it line going down? And it's getting longer. It's getting longer. I'm like, oh my gosh.
The line was insane. And that year, I think we had 4 chairs or 5 chairs.
Yeah.
Ups,
I
and
think
another woman came over and was like, I can help if you show me what to do. And we were like, here's how you do tinsel. So, yeah, it's pretty cool, though. I love that because you want your business involved in the community somewhere, doing something.
Yeah.
Speaking of businesses, my opening take is the Starbucks CEO, and I don't remember his name off the top of my head. He was on television, or I saw a clip online or wherever last week. And he said people believe that this is a really affordable premium experience because it's less than $10 and I get a really premium experience. And so I just thought, that's funny. Have you been to a Starbucks lately?
Yeah,
So
for a bit.
where the heck is the premium and where the heck is the experience? Last time I went there, I went for Gwen. She asked me to pick her up something. I wasn't even acknowledged for at least 5 minutes. I was just standing there at the counter with nothing on it for at least 5 minutes. Finally, somebody comes over and asks what I was waiting for. I tell him. He just walks away. Doesn't even say, let me go check or whatever. Just walks away. It was another good, I would say, 3 to 4 minutes before the order came out that was still missing something.
Oof.
What is premium about that?
Nothing.
And why should I consider something premium or luxury just because somebody else says that it is?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it sounds like the hair industry.
There's also, oh, really? Oh, you don't say. There was also a time I went there the other day to meet with some of our team. We ended up going somewhere else to meet because I sat down and I was like, this place is dirty. There was things all over the floor. From my vantage point of where I was sitting, I could see trash on the, oops, I just turned my phone light on. I could see trash behind the counter, like on the floor. And I just thought, why am I going to spend money here? So we went to another local coffee shop and we ended up sitting outside and it was nice. But either way, Jen, people are struggling because they're still solving problems from the past. And I don't even think the past of 20 years ago. I'm talking just a few years ago. I'm talking about around 2020, there was probably a shift in the industry. That's when I kind of came into the industry. And people started offering more freedom, more flexibility, more perks, and fewer expectations. We don't do this here and whatever. That's not working. If it worked, why would so many people be struggling?
Right.
So I think salon owners are still trying to fight that fight. They're still saying, oh, you can have your freedom, you can have your flexibility, but those things may or may not be important, but it's not what people are after. That's not the most important thing. What are modern stylists not really looking for anymore? They're not looking for snacks. I see all these ads for people and they're like, we have snacks, we have amenities. So what? You're a salon. Why are you offering chips? And just because you went to Costco and you bought a 42 pack of mixed chips, that doesn't mean somebody wants to work for you now. It's irrelevant. It's silly when you think about it. People are touting things like towel service, back bar. Yeah, those are just things that you have to have. Software. These are all surface level things that they're your baseline.
Yeah, they're expected. If you don't have it, that would be weird.
Exactly. So what are people looking for? They're looking for their problems to be solved, just like any other generation, just like any other thing. People are, we'll break these down in a bit, but people are overwhelmed because there's a lot going on in this industry. They're being pulled 6 different ways. Everyone's being told they have to do all these things. Everyone's being told there's only this path to success or this path to success, or that people are overwhelmed. I feel like there's a lot of instability. There's so many owners out there that we read about or we talk to that do one thing one day, do a completely different thing the other day. No one knows what's going on. And now there's discounts. And I was reading the other day about a woman that was mad because she ran a deal and someone took advantage of the deal. And she was like, I don't understand why she would do that. And I'm like, you're mad because you created a promotion and someone took advantage of it and you're mad? It's weird.
Yeah.
What about isolation? We hear that one a lot.
Mm-hmm.
People are isolated because they were sold this, go work in a suite and you'll be happy. Maybe, but a lot of people we talk to are not.
Are very lonely.
Yeah, they're lonely. So that's a problem. Burnout. I think that comes with overwhelm, lack of direction, lack of growth. And I think just uncertainty. There's a lot of people out there. I saw, and this actually makes me sad. I saw over the last few weeks, a dozen at least people that are like, how do I sell my salon? I'm done. I can't do it. I'm exhausted. And then there's always at least a dozen people on each thread in the comments saying, I sold mine, I closed mine, and I feel amazing. Now, I know everyone shouldn't be a business owner because that's weird. I don't know why people think every single person can do everything.
Yeah.
So for some of them, they're probably better off, but for some of them, I think it's just they just needed the education. They needed to know what they needed to
Yeah.
know in order to accomplish what they need to accomplish to grow their business successfully.
Hmm.
And it's still not easy, but people can do it. Before we jump into some more stuff, Jen, you said earlier I was one of them.
Yeah. I was an owner that had no clue. And
Well, talk about that a little bit because that's good. I was
mean,
too, but I just rambled, so you can talk.
so when I owned my last salon, it was definitely like we were winging it. We had a mission statement. I couldn't even tell you what it was. And I don't even think I really understood the point of even having one. So there was nothing I was living by. There was nothing that was driving the business that had a focus. I had neither one of me or my partner at the time, no identity as like a business owner. I was just a stylist behind the chair, hiring people and hoping for the best. I remember so many times when we were looking for staff that I would just pray overnight. I'm putting it in the universe. Somebody's just going to be standing by my door when I walk into work tomorrow and be like, I want to work here. And when I think about that, you hear it all the time, just put it in the universe and it will happen. Sure. Put your intentions out there. I think that's amazing. But then you have to have steps that you need to do to accomplish to create that. It doesn't just happen just because you wished for it. That's quite silly. And it's almost very childish when I look back and think about how I would literally just picture stylists waiting at our door being like, we want to work here. They didn't even know we existed. And we weren't offer anything, like you just said, anything different than anyone else. We were the same salon as all the other salons. We were making the same mistakes. And we had no clue what we were doing. We had no clue how to grow our team financially, meaning give them goals beyond us. We had no clue how to raise our own prices as owners. We were afraid of everything. We were afraid of our staff. We were afraid of our staff leaving. We were doing everything we could for them because we needed to make sure they felt that they were a part of something when we didn't even know what that something was. We were just lost and just spinning our wheels, whether it was weekly or daily. Somebody would be like, I want to bring in this. We're like, okay, yeah, bring that in because that'll make them happy and they won't leave. Or we would do weird things like we would check the state board licenses to see if they applied for a booth rental, to see if they were leaving, rather than have a conversation with them like, hey, are you happy? How do we grow you? What do you see your future? We didn't have that. When we would have meetings, we'd be like, do you know what your best service is that you do? It was just, for lack of better words, a shit show.
That was a good
And I
voice.
don't and I don't know how we even stayed open for the 9-10 years we did.
Do you know your best services? I don't think that story is uncommon. When I had my gym, I'm not going to run through everything you just ran through because same.
Yeah.
I didn't know how. The hair industry is very copycat.
Yeah.
It's a copycat industry because there are so many people that don't maybe even really belong running a business that are running businesses just because, which is fine. I'm not saying don't do it. I think everyone should go for their dreams. But what I'm saying is they don't know what they should be doing. So they just copy what they think, quote unquote, a successful, again, quote unquote, salon is doing.
Yeah.
Down the
And
road or
then
across the street. And then they're running into these problems. And I think it's shocking people from what I've seen. I was reading one woman's post that was like, she was shocked, couldn't believe these things were happening to her. And I was like, I don't know why that would be a shock to you. You know what I mean? Because she was doing things to set herself up for exactly what she was getting.
yeah.
But she didn't think that because it's what the industry put out there, that you're supposed to do these things.
Yeah. And then the end of, and this is, I see this often, the end of my last business coming to its end, it was like we waited too long to ask for help and then we hired the wrong help. We tried to find a business mentor through a client of ours to help and she just made the business get even worse. And then at the end, we were grasping at so many things that we went to this, not knocking it, but it was like a summit salon thing. And we were like, they're going to save us. And we kept being like, everyone else is going to save us. And at the end of the day, we couldn't even save ourselves. And so I think at the end, you just start like doing whatever you can to try to keep yourself afloat. And all of those things just closed us even quicker.
I went through the same scenario. I actually was with you at all that stuff because I also coming in to try to help the business.
Uh-huh.
And
There was no
I
helping it.
I think within the first week, I went through your books and went through
Hmm.
all the staff stuff and went through I took on the COO role. So it's like I want to be in the day to day and see how this thing is operating. And I was like, Jen, I'd start over. I
Yeah.
think that's what I said. And you were like, no, we're going to fix it. And I was like, yeah, no,
No, there was
no, it's not going to
there
work.
was no fixing.
So,
And we closed. End of story.
yeah. And that happens.
Mhm.
And you learned a lot of lessons.
Absolutely. I wouldn't be, obviously, this sounds so cheesy, but I wouldn't be who I am today without all of that. And I wouldn't be able to run Hello from a leadership position without that part of my journey, for sure.
And you still did the work. You still helped all the clients. You still did all the services. You
For
still did
sure.
all those things. So it's not, because I think a
I
lot of
just do
people
it
out
way
there,
better now.
yeah, like when I closed my gym, I was at peace with it. I had clients that were crying and they were having meetings on the side of what they can do and whatever. I was at peace with it. And I think that people need to hear that. It's okay to close a business. Like, we're not going to have Hello forever.
Yeah.
Eventually,
That's real life.
close that thing down and do something else. I don't think it's,
Our staff is crying right now because you just said we wouldn't have it forever.
yeah, maybe one of them can have it. Someone can take over.
Yeah.
My point is, though, it's not a failure. These are lessons.
No.
If you go out on your own to rent a suite because that's the dream you were sold and you want to pursue that, great. If you can't make it and you decide to go into a commission salon to build a clientele and rebuild your career, great. There's no failure there. And I think a lot of people see it that way. Or
I
a
would
lot of
agree.
people or a lot of people will just quit hair. They'll blame that.
Right.
It's not the industry's fault. It kind of is, to be honest.
Yeah, they do push you in that direction. I think the best question you could ask yourself, do you love doing hair? I love doing hair. So closing my first salon was like, okay, do I still want to do this? Yes. And do I still want to have a business? Yes. And I want to do it even better and I want it to look different. But you have to ask yourself that. If you don't love doing hair, then maybe you're just not, you picked the wrong career and it's time for a new one. But if you do, then you just got to find how that's going to look different if what you're doing now doesn't work for you.
Let's get into the old playbook here. So around 2020, the industry was saying people want freedom. Nobody wants any sort of structure. They don't want you telling them what to do. Commission is dying, right? That was a huge one. Commission's over. Everyone wants to rent. And flexibility will solve all your problems. Just let people do whatever they want. And so owners responded to the industry saying those things or making those claims with towel service, back bar, snacks, drinks, taking care of the cleaning, freedom. And then what happens is those things just become commoditized. So if everyone offers something, it's no longer a point of differentiation. It's the same.
Yes.
And most people out there they don't really understand that. They think if people want this, I'll offer it. But it's the salon across the street is offering the same stuff. So you're not really ever going to find your people.
Right. There's no standout.
You don't stand out at all.
I remember this time period because I remember saying to you, Todd, I don't know if I can run a salon in this manner. I've never done it before. And again, remind you, I just said I closed my last salon because I wanted to run Hello very differently. But just because I said it didn't mean I could do it. And then once these things started changing, I remember being like, I don't know if I can do this. This is going to be a lot of work for my mindset first. But also, rather than the blind leading the blind, I had to say to Todd, what does this look like if this generation of stylists need these things? What does it look like at Hello so that we can still own and operate this business in a way that protects the business, right? We weren't like, oh, flexibility and freedom, you need that. That's what we're doing. We took that. We interviewed tons of people coming out of school, so we understood what they were looking for. And then we were like, how do we make this work at Hello so it still has the expectations and stuff we need, but also delivering to what this generation needs also. And then we had to work through that. And that took a bit.
Yeah, we're at year 6, right? So
yeah,
it took until, I don't know, a couple
years.
Back. Yeah. Which is normal because we were building a completely new business. Right. And we got hit with COVID. So we were dealing with that whole thing too. So it
was crazy.
It was a crazy time where we were trying to build something new, but also in a new sort of world, quote unquote.
Yeah. Seriously.
That wasn't as dramatic as everyone wanted to make it out to be, but here we are.
Mm.
So anyways, I think the industry really misread what was happening there
Mm-hmm.
and thought that it was just going to say, for some reason, all your problems will be solved if you just offer booth rent or rent. Again, this isn't anti-rent either. I think there's time and place. I think it's great for certain people. I think
Yeah.
if you want to build a little micro business that you can absolutely never ever scale and just have that, like you're working for yourself. That's a great way to put it. If you want to work for yourself and make your own rules and make your own business, great. You can do that. I'm not knocking it. This, I think, what I'm getting at is trying to help both sides
Mm-hmm.
of the equation, which is the person looking for the job and then the employer.
Right.
Whatever the structure is irrelevant, and I don't care. And I'm not saying booth rent is bad. I'm just saying there's no possible way it's a good fit for 100% of people, and that's kind of what was being pushed. And I think
It definitely was.
Yeah, and I think shame on people if they were pushing that. I think schools screwed a lot of people over. We talked to people
Mm-hmm.
that said, my school said this is the only path to make money. And I was like, wow, that's crazy, because there's so many things you can do to make money.
Right. Those people went out and did it, and then you saw them. We still see them on Facebook. I'm renting a chair and I have no clientele and I can't afford my rent. What do I do?
Yeah.
Geez, that you were given very bad advice that you just took and thought, oh, just because you do this, you're just going to be successful. That's not real life.
I saw someone recently that said, they said I went off and got a suite. Basically, I can't afford it,
Mm-hmm.
which means you don't have a clientele. I don't know why you did that, or you need to do marketing or something. Anyway, so she said, would anybody be interested in working the opposite hours? So they want to split their suite with someone. And I'm like, if you can't, I don't know. Anyways, it's a mess because people weren't paying attention. And I think really what happened was there was a confusion. So people were trying to say that everyone didn't want any sort of leadership, but really, I think what was going on was people wanted to escape bad leadership.
Right. And they didn't think there's anything better out there.
Yeah. So instead of say, how do I build a strong business? People said, how do I give people just nothing?
Mm-hmm.
So they can
and
do
everyone
whatever
needs
they want.
structure.
Right.
People need rules to be successful.
Yeah, I don't think anybody
what it is.
wanted chaos, isolation, and no accountability.
No.
They wanted support, stability, a healthier environment. They want clearer expectations. They want autonomy. So we had some of our staff meetings, and we had someone that was like, I need you to be harder on me
Mm-hmm.
about certain things. That's what people want. This is an employee at a commissioned salon coming to us and saying, hey, I think I could be better. I need you to be harder on me in these areas. But a lot of owners will think, if I'm hard on people, they'll leave.
Yep.
No, they
Back
won't.
to where I was, right?
No, they won't. And I'm not talking about yelling at somebody to sweep the floor, answer the phone. Think about it for a second. Think about what people want and guide them there. I'm willing to bet if you played a sport or if you had somebody that coached you in your life, you understand the value in being coached and pushed hard.
Yeah.
It's not, you don't coach someone hard because you don't like them and they're going to leave. You coach them hard because you want them to see what they bring to the table that they don't even see yet.
Right.
You want them to be able to do the things that you see that they're able to do, but they haven't got there yet.
You're pushing them beyond their own goals. We have people all the time. They're like, I never thought I would even be where I'm at, which is great. And then we're like, well, wait till you get even further. Now they're careful because sometimes they'll do a new service. They'll try something new in the salon and they're like, Jen, I don't want to do this service. I just did this for this one person because they know I'll push them. If they're good at it and I see potential, I'm like, let's get you doing this stuff. Let's get you uncomfortable and let's get you growing, whether that's technically or financially, however that looks.
Yeah, at Hello, we're not looking for people that want to coast. You don't survive.
No.
We've had those people come in that coast. They don't survive very long. They generally just leave on their own. Once in a while, we have to make them leave. But that's pretty rare.
Yeah.
But we'll have people come in that just they're not ready to be pushed, or they don't want to be pushed, or they may be confused what we're saying. We're very upfront. We do all these things, but they don't believe that we actually do them because that's how a lot of people are. A lot of people will talk the talk, quote unquote, but they're not really walking the walk. They're not actually going through with what
Right.
they're saying, right?
Yeah, for sure. And once they feel what that feels like, they're like, I can't do this. And then those that can, they're very successful at our salon, which is great.
Let's talk about overwhelm. That's one of the big problems, I think.
Yeah.
And I see this a lot too. So stylists, for some reason, are expected to be hairstylists, marketers, photographers,
Mhm.
editors, content creators, accountants, their own customer service. They don't want that stuff. They want simple. They want reduced friction. They want
Yes.
support, not control. They want clarity. So I keep seeing all the same stuff, which is what prompted this episode and many of our episodes. But why are you forcing people to do all this stuff? It's clearly what they don't want to do. I think that social media, first of all, it's not going anywhere, but it peaked, I think, for the days where people are like, you got to post every day. You got to post every day. You got to post,
Oof.
post, post, post. And people think that all these people are knocking down doors, but you posting someone's back of the head with some stupid caption isn't really captivating. It doesn't really motivate me. I don't even stop when I'm scrolling. I don't even stop on the back of the head photo anymore. Why would I? Great, you did beautiful work. So does every other person. So does every other salon.
And if they don't, they're putting a filter on it and it all looks the same.
Yeah. And then they're saying don't use AI, even though they just used AI for that. But
Yeah.
that's a different episode. So I think helping people overcome that overwhelm is a good starting point if you want to attract people.
Absolutely.
And that is whether you are commission or booth rent or suite rent or whatever else is coming. I don't know. Isolation. People are lonely.
Mm-hmm.
I think people tend to be more focused on groups, even if you say you don't. Even if you're someone like me and you're like, I'd rather hang out by myself. You still need people around. You still want to talk. You still want to bounce ideas off of people.
Yeah.
And what happens when you go into what we've seen happen to people is they go into a suite or they go booth rent or even they're at a commission salon and there's just nothing. It's sanitized, you know? There's a lack of collaboration. There's no mentorship. There's this sort of isolation where we're on our own here. And there's no sort of progress or momentum that a group is building towards.
Mm-hmm.
I
The
think people,
inspiration even not there.
yeah, I think people can be individuals and build towards a common goal. I
Agreed.
think we're doing that at Hello. I think
Mm-hmm.
people feel that. I think people feel connected to that, even though they might not be connected to every single person.
Even clients like the buzz of a busy salon. I love a day when my clients just start randomly talking to the clients next to them, so I don't have to even be part of the conversation at the moment. And it's fun for them. They want to come in and see what our staff's wearing. They want to just all kinds of things that it creates, even from a client perspective. And then from the staff perspective, they're having more fun if everyone around them's having more fun, even if they're having a bad day. It will bring up their spirit.
Yeah, exactly. So so isolation. How can people solve this problem? Try to figure out the things Jen's talking about: connection, belonging, community,
Yeah.
some
Every
sort of
generation wants that.
some sort of
Do.
leadership presence.
Yeah.
And don't go overboard with stuff.
Yeah.
Don't force it. That just becomes weird.
I think that comes down to just treating each person as an individual. I think a lot of salon owners that are burnt out and exhausted are trying to treat everyone the same. And everybody has different goals. Everybody has different aspirations. Everybody wants something different out of their career. And you have to be able to treat each one to what they're asking for.
Exactly. The next one, this is a big one here, is lack of growth.
Yeah.
That's a problem that you can solve. People don't want easy. I know that's what we were sold a few years back. Everyone wants just easy, make it as easy as possible. Look, some things you're going to make easy for people so that there's less friction, like having your cleaning systems and making stuff easy for people so that they can then tackle the difficult things. People really want progress. They don't want to be doing the same thing for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make sense. That's so boring. I don't know why people do that.
I think if you're struggling to hire, this would be the first place I would focus, because the stylists out there that can't seem to get ahead and they don't understand why, if you talk about how to get them somewhere better than where they are, growth, opportunity, they're going to immediately gravitate towards you and be like, whoa, I want all these things and I can't get them on my own. Or I want all these things and I can't get them at my current salon. Now you have to deliver. So there's your next step, and you best have a path for that. But this would be the part that will set you away from everyone else out there. You'd attract booth renters, salon suite people, and commission stylists, because all of them do want to grow, or those that do, and they don't know how to do it. And they need a path, and they need a leader, and they need accountability.
Yeah, I don't see how you're going to progress without certain things. If you don't have what you're saying, Jen, I had in my notes as a roadmap. If you don't have a roadmap or a direction for people, you don't have coaching, you don't have standards, there's no progression.
And then why wouldn't they leave where under your leadership? Because you're not giving them anything to show them. You're not offering them really anything. Every salon offers all the other stuff.
Yeah, people are looking for feedback. People are looking for a growth plan, or exactly what you talked about, Jen, already. People want mentorship. They want to know how. So I'm at A, starting out. How do I get to B? And then how do I get to C? And then how do I keep going? And then I think I think some of this, the lack of these things stems from even before 2020. So way back when salon owners would be like, well, we can't teach them too much. You just have to gatekeep everything.
Yeah.
Because if we let them know, then they're going to leave. Well, we have the internet. So you're not keeping us down. You're just hurting your own business. And if you disagree with that, you're probably struggling to find people. So
you can't be afraid of what might happen if you make somebody too good. Come on.
That's just silly. So yeah, people want development. They want feedback. They want all that stuff. Another problem that people have, Jen, that goes hand in hand with that is financial instability.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of places thought, I'll just raise my commission, just keep raising my commission. I'll just keep giving them more without taking in any more. And that's a downward spiral. That's a race to the bottom. That's crazy.
Well, that's also because most people don't know their numbers and they think they can offer that. And then they soon realize with whatever commission that they're going higher and higher, their business will close because there's nothing left over and they can't, it's not sustainable.
Yeah, I saw someone the other day saying that if you offer anything less than 60, maybe it was 65%, that it's an insult to the stylist. And I was like, wow, okay.
Or you're saying that, but on the back end, you're taking out so much stuff. You're not running like a real business because it's not possible. We talk about it with our staff all the time, where the money goes, why we are where we are. If you're at that point, I highly doubt you have people on payroll. I highly doubt you're not taking out some sort of product charges. Like you're saying you're offering something, but you've got a lot of stuff on the back that's not real.
Yeah, I don't think it's about just more money. I think what people really want, and you can solve this problem somehow, figure it out, is they want predictability. They want consistency and to feel stable.
Yeah.
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 All right. Moving on. Let's just rip through these. I think we talked about that pressure to perform too, like constant posting. You have to look successful. You have to become an influencer. You have to keep up your appearances. I don't think people want to do that. I don't care. I don't want to do social media at all. I think a lot of people fall into where I'm at, but they feel like they have to because the industry for some reason is like selling classes on how to do social media and how to make $100,000 or 6 to 6 figure thing. That was last year, right? Mm-hmm. I can teach you how to be a 6-figure stylist. You're not even doing hair. You don't even do hair. You teach classes. If you buy my book, it'll show you how to write a book. It's just, I don't know. I don't think everyone wants that. And people are spending so much time stressing out about posting on social media and trying to get famous for some reason. And they should just be doing hair, building their career.
Yeah. I don't understand why owners, I see it all the time, are like, how do I get my staff to post on social media? I'm like, why do you care what that this person's individual Instagram looks like. Like, why is that even a thing for you? Worry about your own social media. Like, why are you worried about theirs? That's very old school to me, or very old way of thinking, like that somehow their person or business Instagram is going to affect your salon. And worry about the people, I guess, that want to do it and then help them do it better. But it's also, so you have the posting on social media, you're asking them to hit certain service sales, certain retail sales, and you can't get a raise if you don't do all these things. And at the end of the day, before they've even taken their client, they're trying to think of how to meet all of these criteria, and they haven't even done any hair yet. The word hairstylist would mean that should be the most important thing that they're doing is the hair.
Yeah,
Not
probably.
the other stuff. Those should be ABC on down there. I don't know. Just do good hair and keep doing good hair, and then you'll get busier. Hair. Do it.
Yeah, I don't know why people out there will do anything. I said that the other day. I was like, anything but hair. These people will do anything but hair. Everyone is
Job
like,
is-
I'm going off the rails here, but what boutique stuff can I add to my salon to sell? What sells the best? What makes the most money? And I'm like, hair services.
Hair.
Hair. Style hair. Color hair. That's
Oh
what's
my
gonna
gosh.
yeah. Anything but hair.
But they're trying to look for some other easy win that they think is going to bring in people, when just focus on doing the hair. And then the owner's got to focus on the marketing and all that. But it's hair.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So a little bit of commission and booth rent, because that's what was happening in 2020. And I think that's probably around when these issues started dividing or being divisive in a negative way, and they shouldn't have been. So there's weak on both sides. So a weak commission salon is going to be very controlling, very rigid, very restrictive, very this is how we do it, period. And I'm not saying you don't have rules, because we have rules and we are non-negotiable on our rules, and I will call you out. I don't care. And in a way that a coach would call someone out because they think they can be better, not in a way that's just like my way or the highway. Okay. So those are two different things. There's also weak rental salons that if your business is making people feel isolated and directionless and disconnected and questioning if they even want to do hair, that's a bad business model, whether you want to admit it or not. I think there are rental salons out there that are also on the other side of that, too controlling. They're running like a commission-based salon, which is really weird to me. I think that tier A businesses on either model have a lot of things in common, like clarity, the standards, support, leadership, community, some sort of momentum for people, professionalism. We forgot about that one. Let's get to the end of this because we're going a little long. Marketing. So let's do this quick because this will help people. You have to market your business as obviously to clients, because you need clients for your people to do work. But you also have to market your business for employees or for people that are going to rent or whatever. And you have to position yourself. This is what the whole episode is about, right? You have to position yourself in with some sort of unique proposition for people.
Yes.
What problems can you solve for the people that need the problem solved? What are people looking for? We see a lot of confusing marketing. People will post a picture of an empty salon and then say, we're hiring booth renters, which is weird because you don't hire booth renters. But either way, we have snacks and plenty of parking and the cheapest booth rent around. Yeah, that's not what people are looking for. They're looking for all the other things. So how can you tell that story? I don't know.
Yeah, you have to set yourself apart.
Yeah, I'm asking rhetorical. Don't look for every stylist. Just like every client is not a good fit for you, every stylist is also not a good fit for you. So don't just be taking whoever walks through the door.
Yeah, and that's commission or rental, because either way, you're trying to build a team or you're trying to build a vibe with under your roof. So it's very important that you have criteria that these people need to meet.
Yeah, I think just ask yourself, why should someone choose your salon over another salon? And look around at your own marketing. If you're writing stuff like, we're hiring, yeah, cool. So is everyone. Great culture, no drama. Okay. I don't believe that for a second. Flexible schedules. We do education. You better actually do education, because we talk to people that are going into these salons that are saying that they do a ton of education, and they're like, I haven't learned anything. I've been here for 2 years. I haven't
Yeah,
done
all
a
I do is
single thing."
watch.
Yeah.
Just watch the owner. That's not education.
Positive environment. This is just wallpaper.
It should be standards.
Positive environment is not something you are bragging about. That's crazy. And no
Yeah, you
drama.
shouldn't.
That's a weird one too. I keep seeing this. No
That
drama.
means there is drama. I say that all the time. I learned that early on. I hired someone that was like, I want a drama-free environment. I'm like, oh, you're for me. And I'm like, wait, you are the drama. You bring it wherever you go. You got to go.
Yeah. So you just have to think about your positioning. So instead of, we offer towels and back bar, which you have to have at salons. I don't know why that's a thing. You could offer say it's independent stylist that you're after. That's your target market for who you want at your salon. Hey, I help independent stylists build sustainable, stable careers. That's interesting to me.
Yeah.
I'm looking for stability and I'm looking for sustainable. I'll check that out.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't mention anything about my booth rent. I didn't mention anything about drama. I didn't mention anything about parking. No one cares. So instead of features or your coffee bar, posting a picture of your coffee bar is wild. What are you doing? It doesn't, and I know someone out there is going to kill me for this, but they're like, I love my coffee bar. Good for you. You're not a coffee shop though. You're a salon, so you should be doing hair. But think about outcomes. So instead of offering snacks and towels to people, maybe offer them less overwhelm, more stability, support and confidence and growth. Offer those things. People are looking for outcomes, not features.
Agreed.
Just think of it differently. The industry spent a lot of time thinking, what can we give people, instead of asking the question, what burdens can we remove? How can we help? How can we take a roadblock and move it out of the way for these people? Yeah. And if you can do that, if you can remove people's exhaustion and isolation and remove that instability and remove their overwhelm, if you can remove those things, they'll come to you.
Yeah, you will set yourself apart. It's all, you got to think differently, and you have to think for whatever business you're trying to create and not just blindly take advice or do what the salon next to you is doing. Horrible idea.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think the tier A salons, I don't think the salons that are going to be winning are going to be offering more stuff. I think they're going to be building environments where people will perform better. They'll be able to, they don't have to worry about all the little stuff. You figured that out as a business owner, so they can come in and do great hair.
Right.
And build relationships with their clients and with their colleagues and with you. I don't know. So again, we'll end. We can wrap on this, but
sure.
We're doing this. This is what we do. And we were told by a lot of people it wasn't going to work. And it's worked.
Here we are.
Here we are. That's a good salon. That's probably someone's salon name.
It's got to be.
Here we are. Gone tomorrow.
Stop it.
Or just add a Z. Cheers, but with a Z.
That could be someone's salon name too.
I'm sure. Yeah. In a crazy font that looks like scissors, but you can't tell.
And you can't read it.
And they're like, what is that? No one knows we were here. No one can read the sign. All right. That's it. Happy Monday. I don't know. I'm starting to get silly or something.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know. Bye, everyone. We'll talk to you next week.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.